How great is it to welcome into the fire the classy Queensland midfielder, this year's first-round draft prospect, the Suns Academy player, and now under-18 national champion, Jake Rogers. Good to have you on, Jake.
No, thanks for having me.
Well, good, mate. Usually we start with your journey, but we can't get in. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's get straight to the chance. You must be on cloud nine right now.
Yeah, it was unreal. The team and the feeling around winning the national champs was just unreal. Yeah, the boys really got around it.
Yeah, it must have been a dream come true.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Now, being that you made history being the first Allies team to win the champs, how did you celebrate?
Well, so we all sort of had to fly back to our different states, so it was a bit of a tough one. I guess we all got on the bus and we were all getting up and about. I guess that was sort of our celebration on the way back to the airport and then at the airport as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't really celebrate further than that, which was unfortunate. We were trying to stay another night in Melbourne all together as a team, but we didn't get that done. So we sort of all just separated, and us Goldie boys sort of came together that night and had a good night together to celebrate.
Yeah. You were absolutely stacked. I mean, all over the field. What was it like with these boys, and how hard was it to gel, seeing you're all from different parts eastern of Australia?
Yeah, good question. I think it was more the fact that we had 10 from the AFL Academy.
Yeah.
I feel that really helped us, as in, we all sort of knew each other. We all sort of knew how each other played, so we sort of helped with that gel factor. And then I think it was Mark McVeigh, our coach, Spike, who sort of really drove the values of team and just all being about team. So I feel like it went all the way from the usual selfishness of, I guess, what national football can be like. So I think it was a great credit to him and the way he just drove the team to be all about team. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you went 20 disposals or more from all 4 games. You have to be happy from that personal level. If you had to review your tournament from a personal perspective, what do you think?
I think my first 2 games were a bit sluggish. My first 2 games in South Australia weren't that great, I didn't think, in my own opinion. I am pretty hard on myself, but yeah, I think my last 2 games I sort of stood up a little bit and showed some of my strengths. So yeah, I think my last 2 games are probably my better games.
Yeah, you got to be proud of some of those games, don't you, though?
Yeah, it was good fun.
It was pretty good to get those 20 disposals, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You were awesome last year in the games you played at the Champs as a bottom agent. Did that really help you for this year? And what did you take out of last year's Champs? Because whatever you did worked.
I feel like I took out of last year the Allies champs. I think it was just more the unpredictability, especially with the new team. So you don't really know how they play, or as we spoke about before, the gelling of the teams. I think last year was a bit tougher on that, and I feel like we took that into this year and really focused on that gelling part. And obviously the success sort of backs that up. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now, last question from the Champs. You were right in the kitchen against Harley Reid. What was it like facing up against that young beast?
Yeah, well, I've sort of known him for quite a bit now through the AFL Academy. So yeah, we've played together in the midfield. But no, it was a good challenge going up against him, and yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, and is he a good guy?
Yeah, he's a ripper. Yeah, he's really humble. So no, he's a good fella. Yeah,
it sounds like a legend. Yeah. All right, so you're a gun now. What were you like at a younger age? How old were you when you first started to show a bit of talent?
I feel like I've always had that a little bit of talent with my speed, and I was always kicking a football from a very young age. So I feel like I've always had a little bit of talent there. I guess it was probably from 13 to 14 is when I like really took it seriously and started to hone in on my football. Yes, I think 13 to 14 is probably the age where I sort of noticed my talent and others noticed my talent, and that's when I started to drive my own career.
Yeah. And what positions did you play growing up?
It was always similar to what I play now. So I've only really played a small forward into a midfield role. So yeah, it's always been those sort of roles growing up.
Awesome. Now, you're actually a Victorian as a youngster and moved to the Gold Coast. What prompted that move up to the sandy beaches?
I think it was more my dad. He sort of hated the cold when he was younger, so yeah, I feel like it was my dad. Yeah.
It's pretty good up there, isn't it, though?
Oh, it's unreal, mate.
Good weather. You're in the Suns Academy, and they are very thankful that you are. How did that all come about?
Yeah, so sort of went into trials for the Suns Academy at about 13, I think it was. I think that's the youngest you can get in. So, yeah, sort of trialed there and got in to the Suns Academy, and then sort of stuck my way through the whole system, all up until now. So, yeah.
And how cool is it just taking a look inside what AFL footballs have to go through, just being in the Suns Academy?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to do the preseason with the Suns. Spent 3 months being pretty much a full time footballer. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get all access and all the resources they use. So yeah, it was unreal. It was a good opportunity.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. What was the first day at training like? How nervous were you? And has anyone taken you under their wing?
For the AFL,
Yeah, for the Suns, yeah.
yeah, I think it was Noah Anderson and Sammy Flanders for me. They sort of took me under their wing and sort of tried to show me the ropes a little bit with how hard to be an AFL footballer is. And yeah, I think those two were really good. And the first day of training, yeah, it's kind of an eye opener. You think you're fit, you think you're all this, and then you get chucked in the deep end, and yeah, it's not as easy as it looks.
It's just another level in AFL, isn't it?
Oh, certainly, yeah,
And Noah Anderson is a legend, isn't he? Had both of the
yeah,
boys on the show, so both
yeah,
legends.
yeah. They're both really good and got along with both of them really well. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. You got to play in the Futures match last year on grand final day. What a thrill, hey? Tell me how it was.
Yeah, it was unreal. Just the experience of, being in the midfield, looking up, and you just see tier of the grandstands, and it just keeps going up and up. And by the last quarter, there was at least 25,000, 30,000 people there. So, yeah, it was by the last quarter, there was sort of an atmosphere building, and it was just great fun. And then to watch the game afterwards, yeah, it was just an all round, just a great day and a good experience.
Yeah, it would have been. You played against the big boys this year in Port and Carlton. I actually watched you in that Port game live. Horrible day, wasn't it? Didn't really bring the best weather for you boys, but Gather Round was a cool weekend to come. Did you get to see any games?
Yeah, so we got to see the Freo Gold Coast game, which was good. Obviously for me, being around the Goldie boys, it was good to watch that game. So yeah, that was a good close game that we got to watch. But yeah, the gather round was just a good experience. I mean, even walking through the airport, and there's so many football fans there, and the whole airport's like filled with AFL like paintings and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, no, it's cool experience. And then to play obviously some bigger mature age bodies in Port Adelaide, their sample side, yeah, it was good fun. And I think the boys got heaps out of it taking it into the Carlton game.
Yeah, and there are a few boys out there like Mitch Georgianis. Got a bit nervous around those boys or pretty calm?
No, I was pretty calm. I didn't really obviously go too far up the ground to
Yeah,
full forward he was, but I didn't really get too nervous. I think the boys handled it well, and yeah,
yeah, it was good to watch. Now that the champions are done, you are champions, by the way. Are you looking to play for Gold Coast in the VFL?
yeah. So moving forward, we'll hopefully be playing some VFL footy coming up. So yeah, that should be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we need to tell people about you. A small but elite mid who has clean hands, get it both on the inside and out. An impressive decision maker who carves his way out of the traffic with ease. You work hard defensively, and are the most so quick running forward. Most importantly, so cool under pressure. You're a midfielder without a doubt. But let's be honest, in the AFL, you might have to apply your pressure up a bit forward a bit. How are you in the forward half?
Yeah, so I've played most of my junior footy, and last year played most of my son's academy at 18s level, and allies as a half forward. So I've pretty much honed my forward craft for most of my career. Now it's moving into the midfield. And then even at the Suns pre-season, I did half midfield, and then the other month and a half I did as a small forward. So I feel like I've got a good balance between midfield and forward craft. So I think that transition will be pretty seamless.
Yeah, it's definitely good to be a bit versatile, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so let's finish off, mate, with a few quick questions. How's
Yeah,
your golf game?
golf
Yeah, golf.
coming along. I actually played yesterday. I played 18 holes yesterday, so it's coming along, and yeah, it's something that I take in great stride.
Yeah, it's good to hear, mate. One of the first boys to say they're actually all right at golf. A sport you're pretty good at, except footy.
Coming up to the Goldie, I think it's all about rugby league. So I played a bit of rugby league. So I think it'd be rugby league for me.
Do you ever go to video game?
No, I don't actually play too many video games now. Last year I was probably a lot into Fortnite, so I'd probably say Fortnite.
Best thing about living on the Gold Coast?
Definitely the beaches.
Beaches. Yeah, beautiful weather as well, I'd say, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. A food you can't help but eat, even if it's not good for you.
Oh, it's hard to go past. I'm a big sweets man. It's probably lollies. Yeah, I love my lollies.
And you got a favourite lolly or just any type?
Any really, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jake, you've had the best year to this day and shown everyone you're every bit an AFL player. Good luck in the draft, buddy, and I hope you get to stay at the Gold Coast. If I'm drafting, I'm putting in a sneaky bid for you though, early. Seriously though, good luck for the rest of the year, mate, and thanks heaps for jumping on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Awesome to chat, mate.
Too easy.